Does it not feel like to you that DJI just updates all their drones every 20 minutes? Like, there's a new drone every 15 seconds. I can't make enough money to keep buying all these drones. But what I'm here to do today is to explain to you the 3 different types of drones that you can buy and why you should pick a certain drone. The Mavic series of drones tend to be the bigger drones, the more flagship drones for the most cinematic footage. They tend to come with the Hasselblad cameras, with the adjustable apertures, the pro shooting mode, such as Apple ProRes codecs and things like that. These are aimed at the more prosumer community. If you're going to be shooting more high-paid gigs, these drones tend to come in at like 1,800 quid up to 4 grand and maybe even more. These drones also have more sensors on them for maneuvering round objects and things like that. So these drones are really heavy. They have massive propellers. They can withstand very strong winds. They always generally have pretty long flight times, something like 45 minutes. And nowadays they all come with built-in storage as well, so you don't really need SD cards anymore. So the reason that you would buy a Mavic series drone is simply because they're more aimed at the pro community, so that you have more control over what happens on the drone. ISO, shutter speed, white balance, aperture. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then this isn't the drone for you. You might want to look at the Mini series. The Mini series is very cheap, affordable, it's getting in everybody's hands, and it's a great way to start off your drone journey. Now, these things are small, lightweight, which means you don't really necessarily need a license to fly them, and they actually come with a really big punch. Now, this one I'm holding is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. This has about a 37-minute flight time, it's 249 grams, it has a 48 megapixel camera, it can flip the actual camera itself so it goes vertical or horizontal. So if you're more of an online content creator, this is the drone for you. It only has 2 sensors, one for the front, one for the bottom. The only issues I've ever had with this is that it's just not very great in wind. Obviously, this drone goes anywhere, so you can throw it in slings, pockets, bags. It literally goes anywhere. It charges with USB-C, also has the SD card port on the back. The internal storage is not very big at all. I think it's something like 2 gigabytes, so it's not very big at all. You can still shoot in 4K at 10-bit color, which means that gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to editing your videos. The mini drone comes in at around 800 quid and can definitely get cheaper if you don't go with the Mini 3 Pro. If you go with something just like the Mini 3, you can start easily dropping it down to like 600, then down to 400, depending on which mini drone you buy. So I think this is just absolutely fantastic for, you know, if you just want to take the drone out on a walk, or if you just want to get dabbling in the photography world, great place to start. When it comes to FPV drones, I think you would probably buy one of these if you've already owned one of the other 2 drones. If you've already owned a Mini or a Mavic, then you'll probably want to move on to one of these. It's not to replace the other 2, this is to work alongside the other 2. Now, I'm sure over the past few years, you've definitely seen a massive boom with FPV footage. Now, don't get me wrong, they are pretty difficult to fly, especially with a controller. Now, DJI has done something good with the Avata, which is the controller, the motion controller, so it makes it really easy to pilot if you've never flown one before, or even if you've never flown a drone before, they're actually pretty easy to fly. However, I would not suggest that this be your first drone. I would suggest that Mini, or get a Mini 3 Pro, dabble with the pro side of it, get used to flying drones, see how much you use one, and then move on to the FPV side. Personally, I've had this drone for around 6 months, and I think I've used it about 2 or 3 times. It's a very rare occasion that this comes out of the bag. And for the price it costs, I kind of regret buying it because I just don't use it. This thing was like 1,400 quid. Crazy. I'd say if you were a paid content creator, then this might be a little bit of fun for you. If you're not a content creator, or you're not somebody who gets paid to take photos and videos, I probably wouldn't suggest buying one of these. So there's the 3 types of drones that you need to know about if you're going to be buying your first drone. Let me know what drone you'll be picking in the comments. If you want to see a Mavic 2 Pro versus the Mini 3 Pro in-depth video, then you can watch that here.